here yet. Whoops. Trying to figure out how to do the camera thing. All right, well, we'll see. Oh, okay. I'll tell you, this phone is always confusing. All right, guys, well, this one's live. We're going to, if anybody's here who, well, there's nobody in the room yet. So if anybody ultimately has questions, that's what this video specifically is about. If you guys have not heard, there appears to be some lawsuits coming in regards to these bottles. Obviously, as you guys know, I am not giving any medical advice. I am not making any medical claims, and I'm not even making any claims for or against any product or products. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about any of that. But what I will say, and oh, hey guys, and I've been telling people, this has been the frustrating part of my channel. What people don't understand is that the reason that certain people get really big or platforms or whatever, it has everything to do with money. I've turned down a lot of money from, whether it's hydrogen bottle companies, brown gas companies, the pill companies, anything that I would never want to share with you guys. I don't want people to be on stuff that in my opinion is potentially not good. And I obviously don't use it. And I have used in the past because I didn't know any better. And as you guys know, or maybe you don't, I literally went to Japan to study. I became a specialist of I'm a hydrogen production specialist. I literally learned everything there is about production of hydrogen, how to use it. And somebody's saying hi. Oh, okay. Hello, Ginsters, or whatever that name is. Barbara, hello. And so ultimately, all I've ever really wanted out of this channel is I wanted people to get the same help that I got. And if a lot of people don't know the story, I mean, I don't even particularly like to say it, but I'll share with you guys very briefly. When I was at my lowest point medically, where I was in so much pain, I couldn't walk. I mean, I was suffering. I wish that there was a pill that I could have taken that would have just made the pain go away, which there wasn't. And I made a prayer. That's what happens, right? When you're at your lowest point, sometimes you pray. And so I made a prayer asking for God to guide me. I wanted his help. I needed his help to help guide me to understand basically how to improve my health and how to overcome these terrible things that had been happening to me. Now, the little promise that I made, and this is probably because of what's in my heart, I said, if you can just guide me and show me, I promise that I'll share it with others. That's where this whole thing really got started, because I'm a man of my word, and I've been fulfilling on that promise for many, many years. So I've always shown you guys what the best is, and I never let myself be misguided by quote unquote the wrong things. And so basically the simple answer is as I've been telling you guys, in my opinion, these little bottles, they're not good. If you do your research, there's a lot of people who try to misguide you on these, which is basically, they're all made in the same place, guys. The majority of all hydrogen products are basically being made in China. Now, if you really think that they have your health in their best intentions, I mean, if you want to believe that, that's fine. But I tend to be a man of facts and look at the data. And the data clearly shows that the majority of hydrogen machines, in my opinion, are not good. And you guys can figure it out too. I'll just give you the data. I'm not making any claims. You guys can decide for yourself. But basically, when you look at the metals, all the Chinese products are using plated or coated metals. In my opinion, that's not what you want to do. Then there's companies that are even worse. They use stainless steel. I would never use stainless steel. Then there's companies that use lye or sodium hydroxide to make their hydrogen, like the Brown's gas people. I would never do that because in my personal opinion, after everything I've learned, it's pure stupidity. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it stupidity or if they're doing it on purpose. I don't really know at this point. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way. But ultimately, that's what this is all about. And what I think is really amazing for people and has been life transforming for me is super clean water. And I say super clean water. I have third-party lab tests about what's in our water, guys. It's horrible. Water filters will not clean your water to the highest level. They will not eliminate everything. They can't, because they're using porous systems. And that's just the water. I don't even want to get into the water thing because this video is more about hydrogen, but hydrogen is even more complex than that. So ultimately, what I've been seeing, oh, thanks again for the thumbs up, but ultimately, this is just the beginning. So we're going to see what happens in time. Anybody has any questions, I guess right now would be the time to ask it, because I'm gonna actually just get going. But I just wanted to do this video real quick. I released another video already about it. This is just a live video where you guys are with me right now. If you have absolutely any questions, would be your time to ask it. If not, I'm gonna get going and go and enjoy the rest of my day. Somebody says, try Pinar water tea. No. And see, who's listening? Who is this person? See, this is exactly my point. Please do not recommend things that are not good for people. Everything I want to do is good for people. What you're saying right there is not something that I personally would either use nor recommend. So I'll leave it at that, but these are the things that happen in the world. There's so many people talking about water. They really don't understand water or hydrogen. It's shocking to me after all these years. And it really makes me sad because I think water is very sacred. And I think that, there's a reason that Jesus literally got baptized in the water, and that's not the only, example. There's tons of them. Barbara says, I appreciate you. Thank you, Barbara. That's very sweet of you. And so I really want the best for people. It's what brings me joy. It's what brings me the greatest joy. And I've been working so hard to share this information with you guys. So again, I'm going to let you go unless anybody has any last questions. Obviously, there's almost nobody here right now. And I just jumped on to do a quick live with you guys. And oh, another thumbs up. Thanks that a lot. Thanks again. And a lot of people have been thanking me for sharing this information because literally I'm the only guy. There is nobody who is really truly giving you the information, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, as far as the right type of hydrogen, talking about hydrogen production. It's just people trying to sell, in my opinion, crap. They're just trying to sell you bottles. They're trying to sell you pills. They're trying to sell you some other product, some other type of supplement. And at some point it just gets exhausting because I feel like the hydrogen industry and even the supplement industry has gone down the same path of the pharmaceutical industry. At some point, they just reach a point where they're like, you know what? They just want to try to, milk the money out of people without actually giving the people a good product or a good service. And it's very sad. Eva says, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Eva. Again, that's really, I really appreciate that, guys. But I'm going to leave it at that for right now, unless anybody has any questions. If you guys want to ask a question again, right now is the time. Otherwise, I'll just release some videos and hopefully you're probably going to hear about it. All this is going to be coming out. For people who don't know, this happened in Japan already. And when I say happened to them, it happened years ago, a long time ago. And that's how I realized the same thing would happen in America. And it's been happening. And I believe a tidal wave of truth is coming, not just for hydrogen, but for a lot of things, from pharmaceuticals to even our government, and all this truth wave is coming. I'm not sure if many people are going to be ready for it, but it's coming. And once you know the truth and know how to get around certain things, like how to clean our water when our water is totally dirty, or even how to eat maybe in certain ways. I know there's a lot of controversial information, but I think it's going to be really amazing. Arthur Young says, hey, Greg, what about the container plastic which the Hydrofix Premium uses? Okay, I can actually answer that very clearly because I did my own research on it. So you have to do a lot of research on what's called polymer technology, okay? There are many different types of polymers. The truth is you can't really just come out and say all plastics are bad. I used to think that, but I didn't realize that the way you make them really actually matters. I even found out that there's toxic glass. And this John Doe guy, you know what? I'm just gonna have to, do something with this because, sorry, dude, I don't mean to whoops. I don't mean to block you, but you're just here to not actually try to do good things, So sorry, I have to remove that, guys. So what happens is the science of polymers. So for example, in Japan, they did something very interesting with the Hydrofix. So plastic responds to temperature. It's one of the reasons that you don't want super hot water in a bottle of plastic for weeks on end. This is the reason that water that you buy from the store, just look at the statistics. I'm not making a claim. I'm just telling you my opinion or what I've seen really. They have the highest level of microplastics of anything there is. So that's why bottled water is silly. I always show people how to filter their water. Watch video 388 that I made. And if you want the cleanest water in the world, you go to a website called mypurewater.com and they have carbon distillers. If you want a discount code, the code is uprising144K. It shows you how to truly purify your water and really, really clean it so that you can overcome not just microplastics, but all toxicity. Just look at my video 388 or the majority of toxicity. It's really, really important to have clean water. They've screwed up our water, guys, but when they start screwing up hydrogen, that really bugs me. For me, what bugs me is when they mess with our water, mess with our air, and mess with our hydrogen. But of course, mess with our food too. All this stuff bugs me. I really want people to be happy, and it's very hard to be happy when you're sick or you're broken, and it's really, really difficult. So as far as the HydroFix is concerned, back to answering the guy's question, the pitcher is made from a special polymer. The Japanese did research and they found out, and this is interesting because it lines up with the research I did about water. Who do you think is the most susceptible to contaminants in the water? Babies and children, because their bodies aren't fully developed. Their kidneys, their liver, their brain, their bodies aren't fully developed. They're the most at risk. And by the way, there's even radioactive contaminants in our water. Most people don't know that, and they don't know that you can filter that stuff out. I've been trying to tell you guys for years. And so what happens is children obviously are super susceptible. It's, in my opinion, one of the things that's happening to the children in the world, not on top of the food and everything they give them, they're all so sick. The plastic or the polymer that's being used ultimately on the HydroFix is designed, in Japan, they're very picky about their kids. A lot of people don't know this either if you don't know their culture. They care about the kids so much. They literally have nutritionists in school to be able to give kids the best food. And the baby bottles that they use in Japan are of a different grade polymer. They have to be able to withstand really hot liquids because they understand the dangers. That level of polymer, the HydroFix use something that's beyond that level. It's been lab tested and it's free from a lot of this stuff like BPA or whatever. And so it's really above certain standards, even to the point that technically you could be able to pour boiling water into the HydroFix and it still be safe, though I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. So whatever you guys want to do, but I ain't gonna recommend that. But the point is that they overbuilt it. They built it so that it would be extremely safe. If you're worried about putting water in a HydroFix and it's in there for 30 minutes to saturate hydrogen, or even an hour or two, like, you're worrying about something that you shouldn't be worried about, because in my opinion, I tend to look at the big stuff. I don't sweat the small stuff because we're surrounded by constant toxic stuff all the time, whether it's in the paint in your house, whether it's the clothes you put on. Those are the little things. The big stuff is the air you're breathing, the water you're drinking, and the food you're eating. And then just your bad habits. So these are the big things. I wouldn't sweat it after everything that I researched. I mean, think about it. The things that I've seen. I just had a cancer testimonial. I have had, I won't even go down the list of all the testimonials. There's so many, it's ridiculous. I've seen what it can do. It's obviously done a lot for me. So hopefully that answers that person's question. And then somebody asked, let's see what else. Arthur says, greatly appreciate your insights on the special polymer that the product uses. And they do use a very different polymer. I've actually used a lot of different products and you can literally feel the difference. You can even smell the difference. A really cheap product they just smell like plastic. They're flimsy. They use cheap crap. And he says that could be the highest grade food grade polycarbonate. So they do use really hard grade stuff. In fact, if you've ever looked at, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but like food grade hydrogen peroxide, that's like almost 40%, rather than like the 3% stuff you buy at the store in the brown bottles. They put that in special polymer too, like a special type of plastic that can withstand that level. Basically, because remember, hydrogen peroxide is additional oxygen. It's one additional oxygen molecule which oxidizes, and it can break down plastics and polymers, but they use a different grade and it's fine. And so there are different grades, and it's hugely important to understand that. And if you're like super worried about, you know, the bottle that it's in, you're like, oh my God, it's in this little plastic thing for a little while. It's nothing that, in my opinion, you need to worry about. There's too many other things to worry about when it comes to your health. That is really small time. So good question, Arthur. Anybody else before I go? And thanks for all the thumbs up, everybody. Actually, I really appreciate that. And beyond that, I don't know if I see any other questions. Other than, guys, just know, I think there's a hydrogen tidal wave coming. I've been telling you guys for years. Finally, I think it's going to be here. I think a lot of people are going to start realizing that the way you make hydrogen, and obviously, look, Joe Rogan doesn't know anything about hydrogen production. He's not a hydrogen production specialist. If you really wanted to know, I could share all the information that's taken me years to be able to figure out. Clearly the Japanese have been working on this forever. Clearly the Chinese don't care. And by the way, it's not just the, for example, the way that the plastic bottles, we're talking about membranes, the metal technology, the amount of electricity, dual chamber or directly electrolyzed, chemical reactions like the tablets, all this stuff matters. Every hydrogen production method really, really matters. So, okay, guys, I think I'm going to go. Unless anybody has any last questions, I'm going to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of my day. And I really hope that you guys found this helpful. I've been trying to give you guys, again, the best information possible for so many years, what really works versus what doesn't, because everybody that pushes things on you, and you trust what people tell you, and I hate to say it's a little bit of a problem in my opinion. You can't trust what everybody tells you on the internet. I've tried to bring a lot of truth to you guys, but I don't have a huge platform, which is why very few people find me. But I'm glad that you guys found me, and I really hope that what I've been sharing with you is truly helping you guys. And Lynette says the H tsunami. I agree, guys. So share this video, tell people about it, especially people who are using things like the hydrogen bottles or the tablets or whatever you really want to share, the Brown's gas, cheap Chinese products. I mean, you guys know that I use virtually none of it. I only use the best hydrogen machine in the world from Japan, from the #1 company in Japan with their own engineers. It's a really big thing. For those people who are still listening, actually, just so you know, I'm going to put a video out about it, especially if you guys want it. You're going to learn that a lot of these companies that sell products like this, they're just buying them from China and then they slap their name on it. They don't know anything about it, and they don't understand that there's a proper level of engineering that needs to be done in order to do something right. And they're not doing it, in my opinion. And the Japanese have obviously done something very different. The Lourdes Hydrofix people, and it was named after Lourdes, France, the magic waters of Lourdes. And they do have their own engineers, and they set out to make the best hydrogen machine in the world. I've been reaching out to them saying, can you guys please share the full story, because it's so incredible. I know a lot of pieces of it, though I don't know all of it. And I really hope people are going to appreciate that. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. No questions. So I'll see you guys next time on the next one. If I can figure out how to turn this off.